شاء الله السنه دي اولا كل سنه وانتم طيبين، يا رب تكون سنه سعيده عليكم ان شاء الله، وربنا يوفقكم تحققوا كل اللي انتم عايزينه. ان شاء الله مع الانجليزية السنه دي هنتكلم في المنهج الانجليزي كله بالكتابه، وهنتابعكم على كل منصات الجمهور وعلى المدرسه في كل حاجه ان شاء الله مع بعض. هنبتدي النهارده Unit 1. Now let's start with Unit 1. Unit 1 is about staying healthy. Staying healthy is a very important issue. Nowadays, we all think that it's a global and has become a global issue, as we know that coronavirus has recently spread all over the world. There has been an outbreak, so all the world has been suffering from that infectious disease. It has caused a lot of deaths all over the world. So we must stay healthy. But how to stay healthy? This is our topic today. Staying healthy is very important. To stay healthy depends on three things: food, exercise, and sleep. Beginning with food. We should eat healthy food. Eating healthy food is very important. It benefits our body a lot. We shouldn't eat unhealthy food or junk food because we need healthy food that contains our fruits, carbohydrates, fat, and vitamins. We should eat a lot of fruit and vegetables. Healthy food benefits all our body, especially our immune system. What is the meaning of immune system? Immune system is the thing that is in our body that helps us to fight all the diseases and viruses. So, eating healthy food boosts our immune system, boosts and strengthens our immune system. So we should give due care to our food to be healthy. And eating healthy food benefits our hearts. To be fit and healthy. Turning to exercise. We should do enough exercise. Doing exercise every day, we should do exercise every day or daily. But we need to run for 100 kilometers a day. But we need to walk to be fit. We should do exercise to be fit. And sleep. We should get enough sleep. At least 7 or 8 hours a day. Eating healthy food and doing exercise and getting enough sleep helps us to stay healthy. We should never forget the hygiene, following the rules of hygiene, and sanitation. Following the rules of hygiene and sanitation protects us from infectious diseases like COVID-19. We all know COVID-19. What is the meaning of COVID-19? COVID-19. It's coronavirus disease 2019. It's an infectious disease. We should do our best, and all the peoples around the world, and all governments put strict rules and laws to protect us from this infectious disease. So we must give due care to our hygiene and sanitation and our healthy food. Now we turn another point, AHC. What is the meaning of AHC? A refers to athletic. H, heart. C, center. Athletic heart center. In the past, most athletes thought that they needed to check their hearts or were about heart problems. But experts believe that they must have special heart examinations. For example, look at this picture. Look at this. This is a photo of a famous player, Muhammad Abdul Wahab. Muhammad Abdul Wahab, may Allah forgive him, Allah yarhamah. He played for Walaik and our national team. In 2006, after winning the African Nations Cup in Egypt, while training in his club, he fell down and died. Although he was healthy and fit. He didn't check his heart. After that, all the world and many other players were in the same. There were a lot of cases like Muhammad Abdul Wahab. So the whole world began to give due care to athletic heart center. Fortunately, in Egypt has become a pioneer in this field. It established, what is the word? It established the first athletic heart center. First athletic heart center in Wadi Nil Hospital in Egypt. So all the world began to give due care to athletic heart center to protect the athletes and other people from the diseases of heart diseases. Now we are going to talk about something else. How to save people's lives. Saving people's lives. Saving people's lives is very important. Sometimes we are exposed to dangerous situations. We see people in danger. They cannot breathe. What can we do then? We must do our best to help them, to keep them alive. But how can we do that? We should learn how to do first aid, or how to perform CPR. First aid takes the verb do, perform. CPR takes the verb perform. CPR means pulmonary resuscitation. It's a method used to keep someone alive. We should know how to perform CPR. In that video, we are going to watch a video about how to perform CPR, how to help people. So CPR is very important. Learning how to perform CPR is very important. Now we are going to watch a video about how to perform CPR.
About CPR, which stands for cardiopulmonary resuscitation. We use CPR when someone has collapsed and is not breathing, because it can keep people alive until emergency services arrive. Learning these simple life-saving skills is as easy as ABC. All you have to remember is the doctor's ABC. D is for danger. First, look around carefully to make sure the area is safe for yourself and others before approaching. R is for response. Shake them gently by the shoulders and ask them loudly, "Are you all right?" If there is no response, you need to. S, shout for help, as any assistance will be helpful. A is for airway. Gently tilt the head back like this to open up the airway. B is for breathing. Look, listen, and feel for signs of normal breathing. Look for normal chest movements. Listen for normal breathing sounds. And try to feel their breath against your face. Do this for no more than 10 seconds. If there is no sign of breathing, or if they are breathing in an unusual, noisy way, we need to start CPR. First, make sure that an ambulance is on its way. If you have someone with you, ask them to make the call. Putting the phone on speaker mode is useful as the ambulance service can talk you through the steps. C is for circulation. Circulation means the flow of blood around the body, and when the heart stops pumping, you need to take over this role by pushing down hard and fast on the chest. Start by placing the heel of one hand at the centre of the person's chest, and interlock your fingers like this. With arms straightened, press down hard and fast, letting the chest come back up fully each time. Fast means around 2 times every second. And hard means that the chest needs to go down by about 5 centimetres. This might sound a lot, but you do need to push hard for it to be effective. If you have been trained, you can give 2 rescue breaths after every 30 compressions, as this helps provide some oxygen. However, if you have not been trained or are not comfortable, just keep going with hands-only continuous chest compressions. If someone else is with you, swap over if you begin to feel tired, and don't stop until either a health professional takes over or the person is definitely breathing normally. Sometimes we can add another step. D. D is for defibrillation, which is about delivering a shock to restart the heartbeat. Some public areas and workplaces have an easy-to-use defibrillator on site called an automatic external defibrillator, or AED. Automatic means that it is the machine that decides what to do, so you can't go wrong, and it even talks you through the steps. If there is no AED available, keep going with CPR until the ambulance arrives. That's it. So to recap, remember doctor's ABC, and if you have it, D, that's B for danger, R for response, S, shout for help, A for airway, B for breathing, C for circulation, and D for defibrillation. In this health sketch, we've shown you the simple steps you can take to help someone who has collapsed, is not breathing, or not breathing normally. Why not take a training course to practice these steps? Share this video with friends and family to make sure we all know what to do. Health sketch. Health for all to see.
As you watch in our video, it's very important to help to know how to perform CPR, because knowing how to perform CPR can keep someone alive. You can save people's lives by that way. So, doctors, A, B, C, D is very important. D for danger, R for response, C, shout for help, A, airway, B, breathing, D, defibrillation. Now, we are going to read the text about how to perform CPR. Number one, how to perform the first aid. First aid is very important to know. If you find an emergency person, you must check the area around him or her. First, to make sure that it's not dangerous. The first one in doctor's ABC. Then, move closer to the person and look carefully to them. Now, notice that when we talk about the person, we don't know if it's male or female, so we use them, not him or her. Again, the person, we make up for the person, while that not his or her. Do they seem to be very ill? Do they have severe injuries or not? Severe injuries means dangerous or serious injuries. Number two, if the person is awake but not bleeding, if you have to ask them how they feel and what happened, to make sure that he is still alive. Check their body for signs of injury or infection. We are going to talk about infection. You don't know how to touch the person, what to do this, in order not to harm him or not to harm him. Number three, if the person doesn't reply, the third step, touch there. Again, we talk about him, we talk about the person, so we use the pronoun there. Touch their shoulder or their feet and shout to see if they react. We want to make sure that he is still alive. And remember to check the normal breathing. It's very important to use it to make sure that he is still breathing. Number four, if the person isn't breathing, someone must call the emergency service to help him, because we do the first aid only, but we need the emergency service to help him to keep alive. Number five, if you know how to perform CPR, as we watched in the previous video, you have to do this. But if you don't know how to perform PCR, don't do that. Because if you do that when you don't know, you can harm this person and you can make him die. You have to do this to help the person start breathing again. This is the ultimate aim for me. However, you mustn't do CPR unless the person is lying up. We make sure that the person is lying on a surface, on their back, or flat surface, such as the floor, to help him. Number 6, the last step, how to perform CPR. Place your hand, as you look at this picture, step number 1, this is our hand. Step number 2, place your hand on the center of the person's chest. Put your other hand on the first hand to lock your fingers like that. Then Make sure that your shoulders are above your hands, like that. And use how and do or perform CPR. This is how to perform CPR. We are going to read it next. We are going to read it again. To perform CPR, number one, if you find the injured person, you must check around him or around to make sure that it's not dangerous. Then move closer to the person and look carefully at them. Do they seem to be very ill or have severe injuries? Number two, if the person is awake or bleeding, you have to ask them how they feel and what happened. Check their body for signs of injury infection. You don't have to touch the person's body to do this. In this text, we use doctors A, B, C as we watched it in the previous video. Number three, if the person doesn't know, touch the shoulder to make sure that child to see if they react. Number three, they shout. React and remember to check for the normal breathing. Number four, if the person isn't breathing, someone must call emergency because we need help. If you know how to perform CPR, you must do that. But if you don't know, you mustn't do that. You have to do this to help the person start breathing again, to keep him alive. However, you mustn't do CPR unless the person is lying on the back of his flat or surface such as the floor. Number six, how to perform CPR by using our hands. Place your hand on the center of the person's chest. Put your other hand on the top of the first hand to lock your fingers together. Make sure that your shoulders are above your hands. Now, we have read a text about how to perform CPR and watched a video about that. So it's very important to take a course, to do a course in first aid, how to do first aid and do CPR to help to save some people's lives. Now, 7, you don't have to press down on the person's chest very much, only 5 or 6 centimeters. Keep your hands in the chest and allow it to rise up again. You have to do this 100 or 100 as we watch it in our video. We have read the text and watched the video. Now let's extract or elicit some main vocabulary from the reading text. The first important words is infect, infected, infection, infectious. We should know the difference between them. Infect is a verb, but what is the meaning of infection? Infection is a disease caused by a virus or bacteria. Infection means العدوى أو الإصابة. For example, white blood cells help defend the body against infection. But when you use infect is a verb. COVID-19 infected old more than the young. But infection is an adjective. Infected is an adjective, means polluted. After liberation, the one became infected means polluted. or مصاب بالعدوى. Infectious is another adjective but describes a disease. COVID-19 is an infectious disease. The dogs may still be infectious. So we should know the difference between, not the difference between infected, infection, and infectious. Let's read other words. Act is a verb, action noun. React, how to react. And when we do CPR, we make sure that the person reacts. Perform, we use perform with CPR or first aid. The noun from perform is performance. Plead is a verb. Pleading is a noun. Another two words, breathe and breathe. Breath, breathe, breathing. What is the meaning of breathe? Breathe is a verb. Trees breathing carbon dioxide. Breathe. Breath is a noun and nafas. Here, press reed of garlic. What is the meaning of breathing? The process of breathing, know how to breathe. عملية التنفس. Athlete and athletic. What is the meaning of athlete? Athlete is a player, is a sportsman who does sports. Athletic is an adjective. We talked about athletic heart center. Athlete is a person, athletic is an adjective. Athletics, and athlete, athletic, athletics. Athlete is a person, it's a noun. Athletic is an adjective. Athletics is a noun. Athlete is a person who does sports. Athletic is an adjective for athlete. Athletics is a sport. It's like running, jump, high jump, long jump, and other games. Awake, those awake is asleep. Rule, first aid, we should teach our children, and we should learn ourselves how to do first aid to help people and keep people alive. Health and healthy, we talk about how to stay healthy. Health means صح, healthy. Injured, verb, adjective, noun. Responsible, for, responsibility. Emergency service. If we don't know, or if we do first aid, then we need to help the emergency service to help us. This is a noun. The verb of this is die. Dead is an adjective. This is a noun. Those of die, live. Those of dead, alive. Those of death is life. Can we make this plural noun? We can. We can add s. Means the number of people who die of a disease. Like there have been a lot of hundreds, thousands of deaths around the world from COVID-19. Another one, we talk about, notice the difference between danger, dangerous, endangered, endangered. Danger is a noun. The patient is out of danger. We must be, sometimes we are in danger, so we must help people. Dangerous is an adjective. خطير. Endanger is the verb. He would never do anything to endanger the lives. يعرض حياة الناس للخطر. Endangered means معرض للخطر أو للخطر. There are many animals which are endangered around the world, so we must keep them. There are other prepositions. Agree. We use disagree with, about, with, reply to. Protect, from, against, hear of, hear from. What is the difference between hear of and hear from? When I say, have you heard of Charles Dickens? You can't say yes or no. سمعت عنه. Hear about. Hear from. Have you heard from your friend recently? Have you received the message from him? Have you talked to him? هو يتلقى رسالة منه. Rise up and wake up. Lie and put on. We use when we want to ask a question, when we need help, call for help, react quickly, look around, make sure, press down. These are important expressions. Have several injuries. But when we use first aid, we use the verb do. CPR, we talked about CPR in the day. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation, move closer, how to perform CPR. There are some derivatives. هي مشتقات كلمات. When educate, the noun from educate is education. The adjective educated, development. You can find this sheet paper on the model. In fact, there are some definitions. We talked about infection or disease caused by bacteria. Perform means the same as do an action. CPR, a method used to keep someone alive in a medical emergency, in which you blow into the mouth, then press on their chest, and then repeat the process again. First aid, it's a basic medical treatment which is given to someone as soon as possible after they have been hurt in an accident or suddenly become ill. We use the verb do with the first aid. Now we have talked about our lesson in the day. We talked about how to stay healthy. Talking about exercise and sleep. We talked about the importance of athletic art center in many countries all over the world to help the sportsmen and other people to achieve their hearts, to make sure that there are no problems with their hearts. And we talked about how to save people's life by performing CPR and doing first aid. At the end of our lesson, let's answer some questions. Look at number 1. Where do you have to put your hands when you CPR? We can use with CPR act, perform, make, prepare. هتكون طبعا this is the answer is a perform. The doctors are worried because the man has space illness. We want to describe this illness by infection or severe or injury or bacteria. The answer is severe illness. You shouldn't smoke, it's very bad for you. Smoke harms our muscle, cell, surface or lungs. Of course, smoke harms our lungs. Firefighters have to space quickly when there is an emergency. When there is an emergency, firefighters need to celebrate, divide, persuade, or react. They need to react quickly. It was a good hotel. I enjoyed the delicious food. We use in particular means especially. الأخص. Physical exercise can space you against heart disease. Can protect you against heart disease. That means يحمي. Space species of animals should be protected all over the world. Should be protected all over the world. We wanted to danger species or dangerous. Dangerous species يعني فصائل خطيرة. Endangered اللي هي معرضة للخطر. The answer is endangered. Getting fit again has been a long slow space, has been a long process. The poor injured driver had 2 major operations. عمليات جراحية. She was dizzy and short of breath because she was dizzy and short of breath. We have reached the end of our lesson. I hope that I could cover all the topic from its sides and you understand. I wish you good luck. Thank you.